Morning guys, in today's video we are fixing my kill team, and what I mean by that is I bought a box that, while I love my kill team, it is just unfortunately not complete. As mentioned in some previous videos, the way it works is I bought a kill team that has 10 able bodies. So according to my data sheet, I get 10 beautiful Hearthkin salvages. And then unfortunately, there are, in terms of operatives, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 operatives. So technically, of my 10 bodies, I can build all 10 operatives. And then I have 1 body for a gunner. And then I get 0 warriors. The warriors I'm not too worried about, just because in terms of a bolter versus an iron blaster. But the main thing is, the gunners are the main way to play this game. And I have 3 gunners, which means I've sacrificed some of my operatives. But fear not, I have a solution, and my solution was a budget one. I'm not buying another box set just so that I can get 5 more bodies in order to build it. So what I've got are, these are my ones that I purchased from the official games workshops. You can see there are plenty of gaps and holes because that's where I've already been using the bodies. Something like this, which is I think like the rail gun essentially for the gunners. I just don't have that version of it yet. But what I've done is I had a friend send me some unofficial resin printed ones from, I think it's from China. I'm not too sure where it comes from, or they did it themselves, but I don't think so because it doesn't seem like 3D printing. It seems more like a mold cast. But you can see it's basically I'm gonna assume it's an illegal copy. The main thing is I don't actually need anything on these kits in terms of like the extras. I just need the bodies. As long as I get the little bodies and the little legs, I'm happy. But if you look at, like, let's take this sprue for example, you can see that the numbers are the exact same, the rifles are the same in terms of quality. So this is the real rifle, and then this is the fake rifle. There's like some slight difference, but the quality seems to be really good. I'm not too sure how the resin's gonna work in terms of, like, you can see that there is some, like, let's see if I can get it. There is some like extra gunk just sitting in there, so I've got to find a way to get rid of that. You can see that little bit of shiny reflectiveness there, so we've got to get rid of some of these things. But like, all in all, I'm super impressed with how well of a replica they've managed to make. In no way am I endorsing you guys to just buy faked kit. I think you should, like, I know that there's a lot of memes about how expensive Games Workshop and Warhammer can be, but the reality is they make really good products. They've built an amazing universe. The game can be questionable sometimes, but I really enjoy Killteam. So I'm not saying buy the fakes. So buy your real ones, have fun. And then if they do some of this bullshit where you need multiple boxes, then you can just bring in the bodies of some fakes and make, or bash kit and kit bash. I think that's completely acceptable. So we are building this gunner, which is, I don't even know what his name is, but we need number 10. Okay, number 10, number 12. So I don't know if I have to, the only thing I'm confused about is whether or not I need to use plastic glue or super glue. Okay, so something to take note of is that I have seen here that there is a issue with the mold. You can see there that there's a hole in the little satchel pack. I mean, I think not to worry, it's not the end of the world. We can make plans around it. It's just, if you were to purchase a non-official one, you just kind of need to accept that there are going to be some issues with things. So what I think we're going to do is, there seems to be a pretty good satchel pack down here. So I'm going to take this one and I will simply just, like, you know, I can take a real satchel pack from down here, and I will then use a real one to replace it. So just something to take note of. And voila, you can see that now we have molded the authentic little pouch onto the fake one, and we can continue the build. Okay, now this resin fuzz that comes on, you can see that there's like a little bit extra. Either just use an X-Acto knife or just use a toothbrush, and you can just use your fingers and you just kind of rip it off and just kind of make sure it's all gone and that the model looks the way you want it to before you start your build. So I'm just gonna be a little bit, all in all, it's actually not too bad. Okay, unfortunately, you can see there that there's another hole in this little satchel pack again. So we go to the satchel pack. Let's see if we can zoom in on it. You can see that there's another mold hole. So either you just get some epoxy and you fill it in, or you can just get your clippers and pop it off. And we just get a new replacement. Okay, you can see now we have attached the torso. I'm kind of happy. There's a tiny little bit of a gap on the right, on his left shoulder, but the right side looks pretty damn clean. We fixed the one satchel bag, so you can kind of see the difference in the plastic. We added the one with the grenade to fix the one with the hole there, and then on the right side we added a new one just to replace the other one that had a hole. But it's all in all, it's looking like a pretty clean dwarf torso. So happy. As for number 9, I think as much of the original gear that we can, we're gonna just be using in order to, 1, just make myself feel less guilty about cheating, and 2, just because we can, you know. Well, look at that. Body on, hands on. Had to super glue it because of the resin, but all in all, like, super happy. I just need to glue the helmet down now, but basically we have a pretty damn good sniper is built. Super chuffed about it. Like I said, a little bit of kit bashing needs to be done, and we just need to stick the helmet on now, but just confirming positioning and everything, but I'm happy. Okay, if you made it around, you can see on the body itself, backpack, face, gun, hands. You can even see the little pouches, which are mine. Literally just the body is the 3D resin cast, but I'm pretty confident that we can pass this guy off once we've primed him, painted him. Like, we could pretty much, bases I think are pretty much spot on. Maybe the ones on the right are a little bit bigger. I couldn't get the exact bases, obviously. Maybe they're not the exact same, but very similar. So slight difference in the bases, but in terms of size, you can see that when they go on top of each other, pretty much spot on. And then in terms of height and mold,
we're pretty much cooking with gas here, boys, but at least now I can confidently know that one, I can build all the different operatives for my kill team, and then two, depending on the meta, whichever gunners get nerfed, get buffed, I can then just swap them around and play them based on the maps, whatever. It just gives me much more freedom to just choose and pick, and that's what you want in life. And here is the report. If you are going to be on a budget, do not just buy a fake molded one. After just doing it enough, one, while the fakes are very good, as you can see by the heads, they're pretty much perfect. There are some essentially mold bubbles and mold lines that just are, if you get super unlucky, like you can make this work, but I don't think it's worth the experience to save a little bit of money. Like, I'm happy to review it and I'm happy to have bought it. I don't regret it. But if this was the only box that I bought and I didn't buy the original, I think it's a terrible experience. Mainly just building some of the bodies. Like you can see, some of them have been warped and there are some huge gaps and you'd need a lot of salvaging to do in order to fix it. Even things like the holes in the back. There's been a few bodies that I've been trying to build where I'm going to have to spend a lot of time cutting away, hacking away in order to make it fit. And it's just not worth it, where if you buy the originals, you get the joy of just having everything in the box kind of be the way it is. I mean, I guess this is why everyone always complains about Forge World and just some of the other resin casts, even from the original Games Workshop. However, because I bought the original, I had original parts. So the main thing that I was always able to do was I would keep hacking it away at, you can kind of see I didn't do this one because I didn't see it. Whoops. But a lot of the satchel packs have a tiny little air bubble hole. That's a little bit annoying. But basically, I've still got a bunch of spare parts and I'm sure I can build a few more if I really need to. But for my kill team, as I said, I was missing my dozer, I was missing a cotier, I don't know. And then for my gunners, I was simply just missing the auto rifle as well as the magma rail rifle. And that's what I did. I managed to use, as you can see, the bodies of the fake parts with the originals of my real ones. And I built my cognitar. So I just need to prime them, paint them, and build them. I built my two gunners that I was missing. So I'm very excited about that. So I've got all 5 gunner options now. And then I finally bought my, my dozer. So my brass knuckles guy. So at least now I have all the operatives, all the gunners. I don't really care too much about the warrior aspect. I might just build 1 or 2 for fun. But all in all, I'm really happy. Essentially this cheapie from China managed to sort me out and cover me